What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this 2021 BMW M850i. Huge shout out and thank you to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this BMW for today's video. Definitely check out their website linked down in the description below. And the model that we're looking at today is an xDrive, finished off in Ivory White, and had an original MSRP around $111,000. Underneath the hood, the M850i utilizes a 4.4 liter twin turbocharged 8-cylinder engine. This pumps out 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. It's paired only to an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends the power to all four wheels. And with a curb weight around 4,500 pounds, you're looking at 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, a top speed at 155 miles per hour, and a quarter mile time at 11.5 seconds at 123 miles per hour. This car runs on an 18-gallon fuel tank, and you can expect to get 17 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. The overall length is 191.2 inches, with a wheelbase at 111.1, height is 53, and width is 74.9 inches. If we go ahead and take a look at the exterior styling with the M850i, this features BMW's laser headlights. You can see the black housing and the DRLs that light up in white. They have a really clean design, and there's even blue accents for the headlights themselves. The front end has a ton of really sharp lines, and you'll see massive kidney-shaped grills up front, finished off all in gloss black. They even feature active grille shutters behind them to improve efficiency and cooling when needed. There's a forward-facing camera, and then 6 parking sensors within the front bumper, and then a massive lower grille in the center as well as the farthest sides to allow maximum cooling to all the radiators. And there's even a black splitter up front just to add to the aggression. You can see how all these lines flow seamlessly into the hood with the BMW logo right in the center, and then 4 really sharp lines on the farthest sides. The hood has a very long look to give it an elegant design, but all the sharp lines go together well to make this car stand out. And then moving to the side profile, this features a set of 20-inch wheels in all 4 corners. They're finished off in a two-tone design. You'll see a satin machine look as well as a satin gray. They have the M logo on them, and you can see the blue brake calipers behind them. We get 4 pistons up front and floating calipers in back. They contrast really well against the white paintwork. On the back side of the front fender, you're also going to see a nice trim piece finished off in gloss black, and there's sharp lines running from it going all the way through the door panels. I really love the proportions with the 8 Series Coupe. It has a lot of clean lines, bulges around the fender flares to give it a wider appearance, and a sloping rear end design just to add to the elegance. This has a set of body-colored door handles and body-colored mirror caps with an integrated LED turn signal as well as a side view camera. And then there's gloss black trim underneath that and goes all the way around the windows to give it a seamless look for all the glass. The side proportions are definitely fantastic looking, and as we move our way to the rear end, you can see how these LED taillights flow around to the side profile, and they have a really nice look with a smoked out design up top. They bulge outward to give the rear end a wider appearance, and you'll also notice a white lip spoiler on the top of the trunk lid. There's also sharp lines going from the roof and running from the roof rails into this trunk to give it all a very fluid design. The rear end has the BMW logo in the center with xDrive on the left, M850i over on the right, and a nice sharp line going underneath that separates the trunk lid from the rear bumper. We of course have your standard rear backup camera, and then 6 more parking sensors within the rear bumper. You'll see 2 reflectors back here as well as gloss black trim on the farthest side with a sharp line around that to give it a wider appearance. And then we get a metallic gray rear diffuser and then matching dual exhaust tips. So there's a good look at the exterior with the 2021 M850i Coupe. This is a really clean looking car. I love how classy it looks. We now have BMW's key fob with a lot of cool aluminum accents in the M colors. If I go ahead and lock it by tapping the BMW logo, all I have to do is go up to the car, grab the door handle, it's going to automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. This particular spec has a 2-tone leather interior with the black and the lighter cream color. You can see the 2-tone along the door panel with black leather up top and contrast stitching, and then all the lighter color with the contrast stitching as well. We have your grab handle right here with window controls and mirror controls, lock and unlock memory seating, and then your aluminum colored release handle with part of the Harman Kardon audio system. You can see storage down below with the automatic button for the trunk release, And then moving inside, you can see M850i written down on this aluminum door sill. And then getting to the seats, all the power controls are to this left side. We have lumbar support and even bolster adjustments. Taking a look at these seats now, you can see perforated leather all in the center, and then a little bit of smooth leather, and then nice sized bolsters. Up front, we have a leg rest that can be popped out for added comfort, which is a really cool touch. And then one good look at the entire seats. I love all the perforated leather. It runs all the way up the backrest, even into the headrest. And then spinning around, we have a black leather steering wheel with the BMW logo, leather on the airbag, and the M logo down below. And then now inside the M850i, all I gotta do is keep my foot on the brake, and we can go ahead and fire it up. This car has a full digital display for the gauge cluster with your tach and engine temperature over on the right. You have a navigation screen and M850i in the center, speedometer, and then the fuel level to the left of that. We have a BC icon you can tap on the left stalk, and it can control this right side of the screen. We have a battery indicator, all of your trip information, horsepower and torque, and then a G meter after that. Then you can get to radio. So I really like all the configurations like that. It's nice and simple. Along the steering wheel now, we have the heated control in the center. We have all the cruise control settings over on the left with the Bluetooth and audio to the right of that. We also get a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that have a pretty nice look and feel. Turn signal stock is over on the left, and the wiper blades are on the right. And then on the left side of the actual steering column, you can see an automatic controller to move it up and down, in and out. Then we have all the headlight controls on the left side. We have one of your air vents, and then smooth black leather running across the entire dashboard. This car also features a heads-up display system. And then if we take a look at the center screen now for infotainment, you can swipe this over and see a lot of different things. Everything is configurable, and I like how it is touchscreen. We also have shortcuts over on the left side for media. You can tap this and go into everything. Then going back to home, we have communications for your cell phone, the full navigation screen, really big screen, nice and HD, and pretty snappy with the touchscreen response. We also have a car indicator. You can scroll through this and see a lot of different settings within the car. And then going back to home, we have apps as well, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and then a few more things. We can also control the screen using this rotary dial down below. You can rotate this, you can bump it up, down, left, and right, and even right on it. And we have all the same shortcuts over here with different buttons. Tapping the map icon, it comes up on the screen. I can hit the home icon, bump this over, and you can see how everything is super easy to use. And then in the center, if I go ahead and put this into reverse, the backup camera is going to pop up along with a top-down view over on the right side. You can see different camera angles that come up if I tap this, and it'll change what you see over on the left. I also like how they do use the same color that your car actually is. We have a 3D camera system as well with a full surround view. You can just tap these different icons to go into every single angle. Really nice, super user-friendly, definitely a great feature for a car like this. And then underneath the screen, you can see all of your air vents as well as another LCD screen for the climate controls. We have a button up here as well that'll come up with the intelligent safety. You can configure all the different safety settings from the screen as well. And then to control the different climate controls, we have a button in the center for the menu. This will come up on the screen as well, which is a pretty cool touch. Then if we actually control it, we do get dual zone climate control for your fan speed along with your temperature itself. Super easy with these different toggles. We have heated and ventilated seats. When you toggle this, it comes up on the screen that you can easily control. You can mix and match and see what you'd like. So I really like how simple that is. We have radio controls underneath that, and then some piano black. You can see ambient lighting on the silver trim with more of the stitching. Then if we open up this, we have two cup holders in here, wireless phone charging, and a USB along with a 12 volt. And these are nice and made out of aluminum. So they look nice and have a pretty good fit and finish. If we take a look at the entire center now, you have the gear selector with your different drive modes. You can see we have an Eco Pro, Comfort, and Sport. And if you tap these icons, it comes up on the screen as well. It gets a nice blue accent, then going into Comfort, and then all the way up into Sport. The exhaust valve also opens up. Going back into the Eco Pro mode, you can even see over on this right side, we get a battery indicator and an MPG gauge rather than a tach. We have an electronic park and brake. And then behind that, we have your center console with nice stitching on it. Pressing this button, these two pieces open up, and we have a pretty good amount of storage space in here. And then the glove box is over on the right side. You have a nice amount of space in here as you would expect. And then one last look at the overall interior. I think BMW does a pretty good job giving this a nice classy design. It is very similar to all the other BMW lineup. They do make a pretty similar dashboard across the board, but it's nice and roomy in here and a nice use of materials. And then up top, we get your LED dome lights. The 8 Series Coupe is also a 4-seater vehicle. If you grab this leather strap behind the seat, you can push this forward, and the seat's even gonna slide out of the way to make it a little bit easier to enter the back. The back seats have the same leather with perforated, smooth, and then all the contrast stitching, and there's even speakers and leather surrounding the entire rear end to make this pretty luxurious. We have a nice step to enter in this car. And then sliding into the back seat now, it's decently practical back here. I'm 5'11". I am kind of sitting forward with my head hitting the ceiling a little bit. Obviously it's not exactly designed to be a sedan, but if I pull this seat, I have it set at my height, and hopefully it's gonna stop before it crushes my legs. Luckily that is just barely fitting me. My feet are nicely stuck under the seat. It's usable back here in a pinch if you need it. It's not the worst thing in the world. But you know, it's nice to have at least back seats. And I can just grab this and we can get the seat out of the way and climb right out. And then moving to the trunk space, you can press the button on the key fob. There is one on the actual trunk or the one on the door panel. This automatically pops open. We have a pretty good amount of storage space in here as well for being just a 2-doored car. It's nice and squared off with a decently tall ceiling. So you can fit some luggage back here. Definitely very usable. You also have manual levers that you can pull, and that'll unlock the rear seats. And you can fold them out of the way to have extra storage space in the back of this car. If we enter through the doors, you can see how everything is laid out. The seats fold down nice and flat, and they configure even around that center, which is a nice touch. And then the opening to the trunk is pretty large as well to make this an extremely practical car. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the M850i. Now I've driven the M8 competition, which is the big boy version of the 8 Series, and then this car is kind of that good happy medium. It's not just the basic 8 Series Coupe, but of course it's not the crazy performance-oriented M8 comp. So with this, the M850, you kind of get a good blend of performance. You get almost all the performance out of the M8. It's not quite toned up all that way. And then you still get just the nice luxuries that you're gonna expect from an 8 Series from BMW. So driving this like normal, we're in the Eco Pro mode, just comfortably cruising. It is so quiet in here. You don't hear anything. It's just super comfortable. I mean, this is a nice luxury car that you can just cruise in and enjoy the drive. We will play with the sport modes and all that good stuff, of course. But just normal driving like this, it's a pretty easy vehicle to maneuver. The hood is pretty large. You can tell it's kind of long up there, but overall visibility is pretty good in the car. You do have quite a lot of glass. The rear windows do a pretty good job over your shoulders. And then slowly getting up to some speed. Even in Eco Pro, you can feel the power with this twin turbo V8. So with that said, let's go into the manual mode and go right into sport mode. You get some good sounds from the engine end of the exhaust. The steering and suspension are all firmed up. Wow. I love BMW's 8-cylinder engine. They just have so much muscle and torque to them. And it's surprising that while this isn't even the M8, it still is a fast car. You could take this and on the aftermarket, tune it up, do a bunch of parts to it, and make this pretty much just as fast and save quite a lot of money. You hear a little bit of the pops. They're not too loud. The car's pretty insulated. But nonetheless, and I love how as soon as you let off the gas, the car like jolts forward like it's on the way to the transmission. Just the way that feels, it's a very responsive 8-cylinder, and it really does give you all the feedback you're gonna want. Man, that is just effortlessly getting up to speed. That is impressive, and that is not even, of course, ripping on it. That's like half throttling it. That is super nice. Ooh, I heard a little bit more pops there. If I go into the comfort mode and back into automatic, it tones down nicely. It's still a little bit firm comparing it to the Eco Pro mode, but it's got a nice blend to it. I like how you can put in sport mode and you can rip on this thing. You can hit the mountains or even maybe take it on a nice casual track day or something and have some serious fun with it. So switching over to the POV view, as you can see, it's a really nice interior in here. Like I said earlier, it's pretty much the same on every BMW. They don't really have anything different, but it is, nice big screen, very easy to use. I love just how simple BMWs are. They really focus more on driving. This is a driver's car. If you want all the luxury and tech, maybe an Audi or a Mercedes might be a little bit better for you, but BMW really does focus on how this drives and how it makes you feel as an enthusiast. So I like that aspect, but we get some nice materials in here, solid leather, everything looks and feels really good. And like I said, with the view around, you have a really good view. I definitely like that aspect. And then with all the different drive modes, back again, we have the manual selector over here in sport mode. I like the red accents, that's pretty cool as well. I mean, that just gets up to some speed. It's so snappy, and for being a heavy two-door car, I mean, this is almost Dodge Challenger sizing, but it just feels a lot lighter on its toes. I think BMW does such a good job making their cars all feel very performance-oriented, and with the M Sport cars, I think they do a really good job making it to where you can get that blend of performance without spending the extra to get the true M car, and I like how BMW has done that. I think the M Sport cars are a really good selling point. And then in this, as you can see, everything just looks and feels like a high quality car. It's something cool in here. It kind of even gives me like an exotic feeling, just the way the dash is laid out. But even the sharp handling, I mean, this is actually a sporty car. You can throw it around and it feels like it's a car that handles the turns and everything. It's fun to drive, it's comfortable to drive, it's decently roomy, so you can put people in it, put stuff in it. I don't really think there's much to complain about with a car like this. And if you want a little bit different configuration, you can get this in a convertible, or you can even get it in a four-door version. So I like that a lot. We'll get backed up to speed. One more little acceleration in it. Everything is just so snappy and responsive. Man, definitely a nice performance-oriented vehicle. Pretty cool to drive. Huge shout out and thank you once again to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this M850i for today's video. Check out their website down in the description below. They have a ridiculous selection of pre-owned cars just like this that are pretty much brand new. They get some crazy cars, so definitely check them out. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you guys in the next video.